So if you've just started calisthenics and you're a little bit too overwhelmed on what to do and where to start, here's my 4 favorite exercises to start with to really help you build up the basics and get strong on your journey with calisthenics. So the first one, we're looking at protraction. That is where your shoulder is going forwards, so your scapula is wrapping around your rib cage, right? So from this position, what we're going to do, we're going shoulders over the wrists. We want to tuck the tailbone as much as we can and keep the shoulders away from the ears, right? We don't want to be up in elevation, we want to keep the shoulders down. Then from here, we're going to pinch the shoulder blades together as much as possible, maintaining the elbows being straight, and then we round the back. Cool? In this rounded position, this is protraction. I'm going to bring the knee towards the elbow and then the other knee towards the other elbow and then back again. So I'm going to pinch the shoulder blades, I'm going to separate them, I'm going to bring the knee in and keep going like this. So whilst we're doing this, we're building up strength for our push-ups, for our planching, and we're also getting a core workout at the same time. It might not look like it, but trust me, it's super challenging. 8 to 10 reps will be really, really good to do. The next movement that we've got is where we're looking at the tabletop to L-sit. So with this, we are looking at the shoulder moving down in that L-sit position, but it's also the arm's going to go into extension as well, so it's coming behind us, which will be good to test it out for some other movements in the future. But just as a basic, so from here what I'm doing is I'm moving the shoulders away from the ears, I'm pinching the shoulder blades together as the hips come up towards the ceiling. So from that position, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to pull the hips back, working in some compression through the quads, hip flexors and the core, to pull the hips back as I push the shoulders down. And I can test an L-sit, or I could just test a little tuck. Cool? Feet back on the floor, push the shoulders away as they pinch back together, and then come back through in towards the L-sit. Obviously, you don't necessarily have to have the blocks. It'll be a little bit more challenging without that. And you can see how I've got to work extra hard to come through in that position. Again, 8 to 10 reps will be perfect, and it'll be really good building block for working your L-sit. So for the next one, what we're looking at is we're looking at elevation through the shoulders. Cool, and this is going to help for our handstands. So what we can do is we can use the wall. The wall will obviously keep us honest with our line. So if you pop up in towards the chest to wall position, and then what you're doing is you're keeping your elbows straight, you're letting your shoulders slide back, and then you're pushing up the shoulders towards the ears. Back down, back up. So this will help with the handstands and help us understand how much we need to push to get that elevation, which will eventually help us in many ways, with not just opening up the shoulders more, but also help us to really lock in that scapula in elevation when we're in a handstand. So the shrugs are going to help you to understand where that shoulder placement should be when you're in a handstand, and it's also going to help you to lock it in so it's nice and stable. So when you're in a handstand, it's not dropping around all over the place, and then your hands are having to respond to that instability that's happening through the shoulder. Instead, it's strong, it's in position, and then you can just start to play around with the rest of the movement. So for the last movement, we're looking at retraction, where the shoulder is going back. Cool. This will help us with our rows, it will help us with our front levers, help us with going all the way round the rings in like a skin the cat position. So I've gone for a unilateral movement, which is single arm. So if I start in this position here, I've got an opposite hand onto the hip, the shoulder comes forwards, I'm using the muscles around the scapula to pull back into position. And then I can relax it as it comes forwards. I don't want to let it come up, but just forwards. And then I'm going to engage those muscles again as it goes back and down. So there's a little bit of rotation that's happening through the torso. And then you can see if one of the shoulders or one of the arms is stronger or weaker than the other. And then you can just give the weaker one a little bit more love and a little bit more of an understanding. So the reason that we've gone for a single ring is because we can see if there's an imbalance between the right or the left side. And obviously, typically speaking, the left side is usually weaker. So we can just give that movement and that shoulder a little bit more time to understand and to engage everything, and maybe even to do a couple of extra reps so it can get stronger.